think every Muslim should consider making hijrah?
Relatively speaking, yes. We're much more conservative. But this is not something that would make a huge difference. Except for someone who's a bit sick and too horny. Excuse my French. Normal people's, okay. I go to Canada and I see things. I go to London. I go to Europe. Okay. Yeah, it's outrageous, but this is your test from Allah. Do you have a father? Okay. You have a mother? Is she a sweet person?
Yes, generous.
And you're kind to her. Imagine if your mother was the sweetest woman on earth, giving you $1,000 every day. Your mom, I don't need this. No, I would like to have it. And she serves you, she serves your wife and children, and she goes around the relatives and friends saying, my son is the best man on earth. He's so generous, he's so kind, he's so brave. Would it be difficult to be dutiful and respectful to her? Where's the test? I'm wise, huh? See, this is what Allah created you for. If you're living in utopia, it is no fun. But when there's temptation, and you stand for the sake of Allah and say, no. Yusuf, if you go through the Quran, Sheikh Samir most likely have told you about this. Yusuf was sold as a slave when they found him in the well, bought by the king of Egypt, raised by him, then as a foreigner, as a young man full of energy, seduced by the wife of the king when they were alone, and he was harshly tempted. Now, no one would stand. So, he passed the test with flashing stars. Alhamdulillah. This is the same that's happening to all of us. Life is a test. Allah tested, created us to be tested. And all what you're going to live is like 60, maximum 70 years of age. Then what? Khalas. 6 feet under. But if you made it, you've made it for good, forever. So there is no point of, again, excuse my French, bitching and whining. Saying, oh, we have so much fitna. Okay, welcome to the club. You have fitna. Let's go to Gaza and see the people there. What fitna are you talking about? You've got benefits in Australia. You've got life. You've got medical services, free, I think. Yeah. Education, you blah, blah, infrastructure. You've got the power of the passport that maybe 90% of the population of Earth are envious of. And then you're saying, oh, Sheikh, wallahi, we want to do this, we want to do... You have it made. So all what you have to do is identify the glass you're drinking from. Is it half full or half empty? It's the same. It's the same glass. But it depends on how you look at it. I don't know if this makes sense. This is what you think. Unfortunately, if you ask Sheikh Samir or Sheikh Abdullah, how many of the people living less than 2 kilometers from Al-Haram have lived for 40 years and not entered it? Of the locals. It's in the heart. What were you drinking of just a while ago from your...
A large bottle of water.
Of Zamzam.
Zamzam, yes.
And one of the shuyukh was asked by his student. And he said to him, Sheikh, why is Zamzam not tasteful? Zamzam is not tasteful, is it?
I like it.
It's not that sweet. It's just a Prière or whatever. It's a little bit salty. So why is it not that tasteful? The Sheikh said, so that Allah knows who drinks it for His sake.
Yes.
This is your test.
Wow.
People living in Mecca, they don't know even the Haram, how to go to the Haram. they have so much dead hearts and black hearts that they don't feel the urge to go. So I know people in Jeddah of my own relatives that have been here for 60 years. They went only once for Hajj and once for Umrah. One in their lives. And it's a stone throw to us. So when you come and say, oh, I wish to come here and live here, you don't know what will happen after 5 months or 6 months of seeing it. I remember 20 years ago, when I used to work with the corporate companies, I was an executive, and my office was in the 6th floor overlooking the seaport of Jeddah, one of the fanciest offices and locations in Jeddah. Everyone, and it was a huge office. It was for the CEO. When he left to another place, I said, I'd like to take it. He said, take it. So even the directors and the vice presidents don't have this office. Everyone who came into the office was mesmerized by the view for about 15, 20 seconds. And I just sit there and watch them. And I say, you like the view? He said, wow, the view is magnificent. He said, I've been working here for 5 years. I don't even pay attention to it. Why? The heart is dead. I've seen it so many times. So, unfortunately, what dictates your level of Iman is not attributed to the land.
Where you live.
It is attributed to your own heart. You'd find people in Sydney, in Melbourne, in London, in Paris, and even in Monaco with the highest level of Iman that anyone would expect. And you find people in the heart of Medina and in Mecca with zero Iman. So be careful. Don't say that. I'm not saying that coming to the Holy Lands and living there is not a plus. Of course, it's the best thing ever. But again, don't make it a maker or breaker of a deal.
Yes.
It's all here that you have to fix. Learn your religion, increase your Iman, and then wherever Allah puts you, you become a beacon of light.
Sure.
This is a guy, a taxi driver, 15 years, working in al-Haram, taking people and pilgrims and people of Umrah to the Haram for 15 years, and you've never entered the Haram.
Amazing. 15.
And you're just a few steps away. See, Hijra was directed to us by the Prophet ﷺ. He said, أنا بريء ممن يقيم بين ظهراني المشركين تتراءى حبيبي جزاك الله خير تتراءى نارهما. I have nothing to do with a Muslim who lives among the disbelievers in the proximity where if they light fire for cooking, they can see each one's fire. They're so close. Of course, we live in building blocks. We live in neighborhoods. We live in so many places that are so close to one another. Drink with your right hand, my friend. Aha, you're in the presence of the Shaykh.
I'm a reaver.
I've got my guns on me. Sorry, this is an old habit. You know,
Yeah.
when I see something like this, I have to point it out. So, the Prophet ﷺ told us to migrate. Now, migration is essential, but if a person was born and raised there, and there is no better alternative, meaning if he goes to a Muslim country, they'll kick him out in 6 months, or he would not have a suitable job, or his social status and economic level would be so bad that his wife would divorce him, his children would go astray. We say, no, stay where you are. If you're able to practice Islam, you are able to pray on time, your wife is able to wear the niqab, your children can go to Muslim schools, nobody's forcing you to do something haram per se. So remain where you are, try your level best to improve your income, maybe, diversify your investments so that you would have steady income that allows you to go to a Muslim country, whether it's Egypt, whether it's Turkey, whether it's Malaysia, whether it's Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is very expensive. And we don't accept people. Yeah, and if you have $300,000, you can get a golden permanent residency. مليون هي ولا الحين؟ أقل شوي, maybe a little bit less. But again, if you have this amount of money, so yes, once you are able, come.